Welcome back to Kin in Line. This is part 6. Here I was still on a bit of a roll. I really like the fact that I've started doing a cubist approach. In other words, taking the natural look apart and putting it together in a new way, which is kind of what you want to do in art. Look, the shading still leaves a lot to be desired, but I think my focus on the head shows that I was interested in that and wanted to explore it. So again, quite an efficient drawing here. Look at the sculpting of the back with line, it's progress, definitely. Sorry, I just need to get the paper under here, this terribly thin paper that we used. So again, solid form, and if you look at those lines across his stomach, it's starting to define the form much better than what I've done in the past. Around the shoulder, and you start to get a sense of the figure, of human flesh, as it were. There's still some zigzaggy stuff there, which isn't good. Just taking time out to display these properly because you lose it otherwise. Here again, by redrawing, this picture gains immensely, Why not? That's what sketching is all about. Again, the face is quite interesting, very African. There's no disputing that, And 2 profiles, which just adds interest. Taking time to do this, but it's worth it, so that one gets a crisp image of the drawing. And here again, the line is really starting to describe form, and we've got multiple profiles as this woman battled to keep her head up. This would have been a longer pose, and again, straight lines there don't really work, but this was one of the better days for somebody who's been trying to do this for about 3 years, despairing that one would ever get anywhere close to a decent drawing. I rather like this one too. The understated top, torso, but enough lines to sort of describe it. Look, I like the neck there. Or the breastbones. She's clasping that piece of bamboo. She has feet, it's always important, and the leg has been totally redrawn and is just better for it. Why not? Here, likewise, I've redrawn the profile, the face, and it just adds interest, Again, it's also just emphasizing certain lines, like the back there on the left. One does that sort of in the process, but looking back at it now, that's what makes the drawing, is you've sort of stressed a bit. Jack Lugg really loved to put the model to work, as it were. So here we've got her leaning back, and look, this would have been about a 2-minute pose, and look how I've done her face in just a handful of lines, and that actually works. I mean, there's great tension in her right leg as she's holding this pose. The feet are suggested enough to sort of succeed. I could have put a bit of a floor under her. Here again, just an African woman is, I think, good foreshortening here. Not ideal, but it's certainly working, starting to work. And because I'm now drawing quite well at the art school, I seem to have gained the confidence to draw people, just friends, and this was 2 sisters who lived in Bonza Bay. And I can't remember doing this at all, but clearly it was from life, and I sketched them, and that's progress. And likewise, these, I think, might have even been the same girls. I don't recall doing these either, but heavens, I even seem to have a nice pen, like pen and ink. This isn't just a ballpoint or anything. So the line quality is superb, and I mean, they wouldn't be flattered by these, that's for sure, but I quite enjoy them. Sorry, just taking a while here. So, because we were involved in politics, the Progressive Federal Party was the opposition to the National Party, which was the party of apartheid. So this was Zak de Beer, who was a prominent member of the PFP, and I did him again here. Then my chess obsession brought us that. There's Zak again. Never met him, obviously, but I'm not sure who this was trying to be, but clearly I was starting to be interested in cartoon-type faces. And then there was an obvious interest in crucifixion, and I think this one works quite well at the bottom. And then a little bit on perspective, which we did a course on. I mean, it was quite an important part of our studies. A few more lines for perspective purposes. And then again, here we have PFP leadership. So originally, when I was a sort of teenager, the party was run by Colin Eglin, and he was replaced by Van Zyl Slabbert. And after doing a drawing like that, which, I mean, it's got quite a lot of good qualities, I guess, but it was a lot of fun to then play with the image and sort of just loosen up a bit. And the line then becomes more interesting. So here's Eglin, just shorthand. And Eglin again. And then a lot of shorthand Eglins. And look at the line, it's just so much more interesting. Compare that to that. That's what everybody would call a sort of reasonable drawing, because it looks like Eglin. But look at the lines here. Each one is expressive. Far more like Topolsky's work. Yeah, well, I've reached almost the 10-minute mark, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.